Have you ever had someone say to you, "I don't know what to say"? Or maybe you've even said it yourself. Oftentimes we think that in order to speak well, we need to be eloquent or have the perfect vocabulary. But actually, the secret to articulating your thoughts more clearly is simple. It is just this. Have a clear idea of what you want to say and practice saying it until you can say it easily. That's it. Now let me share with you how you can do this step by step. 1. Identify the one thing you want to convince others about. What is that one key message that you really want them to get? Think of a time when you had a heated debate with someone who had a completely different viewpoint than you did. You probably realize in retrospect that if they would have just gotten this one point, then everything else would have been easy. So what is that one key point? Write it down so you can refer back to it. Next, take some time to think about why the other person might disagree with you or be indifferent to your idea. Why might they not care? Why might they not agree? And write these reasons down. If possible, try to organize them into categories. This will help you make sure you cover all your bases. Third, now we're going to plan out our argument, our presentation, our dialogue. Basically, we're going to outline the main points that we need to hit to make sure that we get our key message across. So, for this example, let's imagine that we're trying to convince someone to start coming to the gym with us. Our one key message is that working out together will help our friendship. Let's brainstorm why they might not want to do this. They might say it's too expensive. They might say they don't like working out. They don't know how. They're too busy. Okay, those are some reasons. Now let's come up with some ways to address those reasons. Maybe we can talk about how we can go to cheaper gyms. Maybe we can talk about how they don't need to lift weights. They can just do cardio. We can talk about how we can help them learn how to work out. We can talk about how we can help them find the time in their schedule. Great. Now we have a basic structure for our presentation. Fourth, practice saying what you want to say out loud. Say it until you can say it easily. And here's an extra tip. Record yourself and then listen to the recording. That way you can hear how it sounds and see whether or not you're saying it is. Are you stumbling over your words? Do you need a pause and think too much? If so, you need to practice more. One way to practice more is to record yourself. Listen to the recording, figure out where you need to improve, and then repeat the process. Fifth, use the rule of 3. We as humans are hardwired to pay attention to patterns, especially patterns involving numbers. So once you've practiced what you're going to say until you can say it easily, now make sure you say it 3 times. Say your key message 3 times during your conversation. Now, you might be thinking, that's too rehearsed. People will be able to tell I'm repeating myself. Well, if you do it right, people won't notice. And here's how you do it right. Make sure each time you say your key message, you do it in a slightly different way. Change up your sentence structure a little bit. Change up the words you use. And most importantly, change up your tone of voice. For example, let's say our key message again was that working out together will help our friendship. Here's 3 ways we could say that. If we work out together, we'll spend more quality time together, and our friendship will grow. Now, obviously, you're not going to give a full-on speech like this. That would sound really weird. Instead, you're having a conversation. But this is a great way to ensure that you get your key message across. Final step, no. 6, listen more than you talk. If you do these first 5 steps, you'll be better able to articulate your thoughts than 99% of people. But there's one last secret to becoming a great conversationalist. Listen more than you talk. This doesn't mean that every time you start to talk, you need to immediately stop and think, I shouldn't be talking. I should be listening. It just means that when you enter into any conversation, ask yourself the question, what do I want to get out of this? Is it to share your thoughts? Or is it to understand the other person's thoughts? Oftentimes, we go into conversations wanting to only talk about ourselves. We want to persuade the other person to believe what we believe. But oftentimes, the best conversations are the ones where we understand the other person's perspective and where they understand ours.